Greetings tubies and tubettes, Spexy here, welcoming you to yet another episode of Retrospexx. I hope you're all having a fantastic day, and if you're new to the channel then why not stick around for a dose of some good old retro shenanigans. If you're a returning viewer, it's good to see you back. Don't forget to slap that thumbs up if you like any of my videos, click subscribe if you want to follow the channel, and ding that bell for notifications of all future Retrospexx uploads. So what do I have in store for you today? Well, this is the first in a new series of videos encompassing my gaming life, and I'm going to start from the very beginning. Now, the first ever real gaming system that I could truly call my own was the ZX Spectrum, but that will have to wait until a future instalment in this series, as my life as a gamer started just a little bit before all that. Way back in a rather dull and wet summer of 1979 to be more precise. Yes, I really am that old. Oi, not that bloody old. The then me, a 7-year-old Spexy, spent much of my holiday out of the rain in a Pontins leisure facility, predominantly the gaming lounge, where aside from the usual pool, table football and darts, they also had several then revolutionary new arcade cabinets installed. Now, I can vividly remember my dad and older brother playing Seawolf and Boot Hill on numerous occasions before this, and these were games that I had little interest in at the time, although I do have a lot of love for them now, as I was far too small to reach and use the controls properly back then. However, it was here at Pontins that I first witnessed two of the most influential arcade hits in gaming history. Tato's interstellar combat classic Space Invaders, and what was soon to become my all-time favourite arcade game ever to be made, Atari's one and only blockbuster, or should I say rockbuster. I absolutely played this game to death. The musty old beer-stained bar stool that sat in front of the heavily cigarette-charred control panel was to become my favourite spot for almost the entirety of that holiday, leaving my parents with little to no chance of dragging me away from this wonder of modern technology. I even learned an age-old trick of spinning an old 10p piece in the slot so the machine mistook it for a 50p, thus giving you extra credits. Gotta love the old coin mix.
They're great!
Its flickering vectors had me hypnotised, as did the sound, albeit blips and boops, but it did the job perfectly and had me totally hooked. I'm still in love with this game today, and I would go as far as saying that this was the main game responsible for making me the gamer I am today. Not a very good one. So, moving on a year and back at home, my dad brings home to the family a little box of wonder, known affectionately as the Binatone TV Master Mark VI. Now, I'm sure most of you have at least heard of, if not played a variant of Pong, another one of Atari's greats. Well, the Mark VI was one of a number of Pong clones to hit the markets in the late 70s and offered homeowners all the fun of the arcade from the comfort of their own armchair, or in my case, the floor. Utilising one of two paddle controllers, players were able to battle it out in a grueling, fast-paced, adrenaline-pumping game of tennis, football, squash. Yeah, okay, so they're basically just the same game with different names, but imagination is a bloody wonderful thing, right? And alongside all of this, the Mark VI also included an awe-inspiring light gun, so if you got fed up with knocking that little white spot from bat to bat, you can now just shoot the damn thing instead. Woohoo! So yet another year passes by before I'm eventually introduced to one of the greatest wonders of the then modern world, the home microcomputer, and they don't come much more micro than this little fella, the ZX81. Now, I'm unable to find a British TV advert for the ZX81 from that time. I'm not sure they even made any, but this machine was also released in America under the name the Timex Sinclair 1000, and here is a TV advert of just that. Enjoy.
Now, Timex brings the power of the computer within reach of more people than ever before. Introducing the Timex Sinclair 1000, the first of a new generation of computers designed to be easier to use and to own. For $99.95, power to learn at the speed of light, power to organize with unfailing accuracy. The Timex Sinclair 1000, the power is within your reach.
For his 13th birthday, my older brother was lucky enough to be brought one of these machines in an attempt by our parents to teach him the programming skills that was surely destined to set him up for life in this new computer age, right? Well, sadly that didn't happen, but at least you can't say they didn't try. He did however spend most of his free time typing in basic programs, which could be found as pages and pages of long undecipherable lists in numerous magazines available at that time. These eye-blurring pages of code contained complete games in BASIC, and when typed in by the user would allow them to play a myriad of gaming titles. Everything from skiing to race car driving was programmable. Even epic space battles or arcade covers could be achieved on this machine by utilising either UGG graphics or using the character set in place of graphics, as you can see right here in this conclone on the screen right now. Now, there were also tape games available for the system, and if you want to check them out, you will likely want to pick yourself up a 16K RAM pack as well as the machine, and also a tape player to load them with. And if you are lucky enough to have the opportunity to try one of these things out for real, I suggest you get your hands on at least a copy of Mazogs and 3D Monster Maze, because these games are truly amazing and show what the machine is capable of, which is actually probably more than you would think. So, just to give you a little history on the ZX81 and its creator. The ZX81, like its predecessor the ZX80, were the brainchild of a young British entrepreneur by the name of Clive Sinclair, a former electronics whiz kid who, in 1961, founded the company Sinclair Radionics, as the name Sinclair Radio just sounded a little too drab for his liking. And he had some success with producing and selling micro radio kits to be built at home. But his big dream was always to make an affordable home computer for access to the general public, and under another one of his companies, Science of Cambridge Limited, founded in 1973, he worked on a project to do just that. Now, Sinclair had tried really hard to make his dream become a reality, and in 1977 Science of Cambridge had small success with a low budget yet little known computer by the name of the MK14, which released at a price bracket of only £39.99. Now, this low tech device had a single line of LED display and only a quarter K of memory, so nothing groundbreaking here, but this was the start of what Sinclair then went on to produce in the future. Now, bearing in mind that most computers in those days were used for either business or educational purposes and had a price bracket of somewhere between £500 to £1,000 or more. This came in at just a fraction of that price at only £39.99. And just to give you some comparison here, in 1978 spending £1,000 would be the equivalent of £5,696 in today's money. And that's just crazy. Now, the MK14, as previously discussed, was a very low-tech machine, and Sinclair didn't consider it to have the functionality that the home user would require at that time.
I had really set my heart on a computer. Mm-hmm. Have you got one in blue?
You don't know much about computers, do you, sir?
It was also at around this same time that another company, Grundy, also based in Cambridge, were working on their own computer project for the home user, the imaginatively titled New Brain. This revolutionary piece of computer hardware was aimed to release to the public at a very affordable price. However, Sinclair knew that Grundy could not possibly affordably produce this and still sell it at a £100 price tag. The components would just be costing too much. So he planned on making a computer that could do just that. Sinclair knew that the game was on, and in direct competition to the New Brain, he turned to a far simpler concept and design, reducing the number of necessary parts required to produce a home computer, and thus in 1980 he released the ZX80 at a starting point of £79.95 in a built-it-yourself kit form and £99.95 pre-built. This was the start of something big for Clive Sinclair, and soon after this, in 1981, he then went on to release his second home computer, the ZX81, at £49.95 in kit form and £69.95 pre-built, making it the cheapest and most accessible microcomputer aimed at the home market at that time. With only 1K of memory, the ZX81 could hardly be considered a monster games machine, but nevertheless it became a huge success for the company, known now by the catchier and far more fondly remembered name, Sinclair Research Limited. Now where have I seen that before? Oh, come on, seriously? The rest, as they say, is gaming history. In the next episode, you can find out much more about the microcomputer age and also a few other consoles that piqued my interest during my early gaming life. If you liked today's video, then why not spank the hell out of that thumbs up button down there, and don't forget to check out my other gaming channel known simply as Spexy, where you can find the more up-to-date games, indie titles, and of course my scrap mechanic builds. If you'd like to consider supporting either of my channels by becoming a patron, even the smallest of donations will help the channels grow and flourish and be appreciated more than you can possibly imagine. Details are now on the screen and also in the description below. I hope that you enjoyed today's video, and I look forward to looking backwards with you again in the next episode. See you soon. Bye for now.